Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another celebratory episode of JD's Wildcat World. I could get used to the win recap episodes. There's been several of them in a row now. The Cats are now 12-2 after they get a big win over Missouri in their first SEC home game. I want to start off by saying if I sound a little different or a little under the weather, it's because I am not feeling the best. So bear with me if you're listening for the first time, or if you're a regular listener and I sound different, that is why. But wanted to just say Cats. It's basically all to say. The Cats are legit. Proved it again by taking care of business at home. They win 90-77 by 13. Would have liked to see them win by a bigger margin, but the refs kind of took over the second half. It seemed like both teams really couldn't get much of a flow. I will say, in the first half, in the very beginning of the game, though, both teams were scoring at will. I think at the under 16 media timeout, it was already 16-14 in the first 4 minutes of the game. That's an insane amount of points. So, coming in, I honestly thought we could possibly reach the 100-point mark because I knew watching Missouri film, I went back and looked, and they could not guard anybody. We struggle a little bit on defense, but nowhere near as much as they do. None of their five guys can guard the ball at all. And you saw that. We exploited that very well throughout the whole game, as, our leading scorer goes 0 of 6 from 3, and we still hang 90 on them. So, very good effort on offense. And the last 10 minutes of the second half, we held them to, I think, one field goal. So we say our defense is not the best, but, I think there's stretches that this team can play good defense. I really do. The Cats now 2-0 in the SEC. That's a great start if you want to win the regular season title. I think we're in a very good position to do that. I want to go over some things in the box score. The first thing that jumps out, Rob Dillingham had a great game. I think his best game so far as a Cat. 23 points, 2 assists, 2 boards, 8 of 10 from the line, 3 of 3 from 3, and 6 of 7 from the field. That's huge. That's super efficient. My favorite player on the team, I feel like I say that every episode. After the Florida game, he was due for a breakout, and he delivered in a huge way. Led the team in scoring, but also was just great on the floor the whole time he was on it. So, Trey Mitchell, another huge game, 20 points, 14 boards. That's a Oscar Tshiebwe type performance from him, except Trey stepping out and hitting threes, 2 of 6 from 3, had 2 at the very beginning, and it looked like it was going to be a huge night for him, and it was. He continues to do great things. He's definitely the emotional leader of this team, him and Antonio Reeves. Together, the two older veterans on this squad, and they do a great job. DJ Wagner, 16 points, 3 assists, continues to improve at a high clip. Thing I love the most, I knew right off the bat he was going to be able to get to the rim on the guy that was guarding him, as he has been able to most of the year. But especially against Missouri, because, like I said, they cannot guard the ball. He did that, and also shot the 3, attempted 2, hit 1, knocked it down, and went 5 of 7 from the free throw line. So I really love the progression that DJ has had and continues to play with. And Reeves, 14 points, 3 of 9 shooting, had 8 free throws, though, hit all 8 of them. That was big for him. Reed Sheppard, only 3 points, but did other things well, 4 assists, 2 steals. And, that really shakes out the whole box score. Nothing crazy jumps off at you. We had 47 points in the first half. That was, we just score at an insane rate, to be honest with you. 90 again. We're averaging right under 91 points a game. It's like 90.8. And we shot 32 free throws, hit 27. That's huge. That's something that in our tournament run in the future, it's going to be huge. 85%. Only attempted 23 threes. That's too short of where I want to be. Hit 7 of them. And held Missouri to only 28% from the line. So or from the 3-point line, and it seemed like they were hitting a lot in the first half, and they kind of cooled off in the second half, similar to Florida. It was, they were hitting some wild shots, not as wild as Florida was, but I think we contained them decently well. I think Missouri really their struggles are on the defensive side of the ball. I think they can score it at a decent pace, but they just do not play any defense whatsoever. They dropped to 0-2 in conference, 8-7 overall. Noah Carter led them in scoring, and Sean East had 19. Noah Carter had 20. When Sean East went out with that injury, it kind of helped. There wasn't a point in the game that I really thought Kentucky was ever going to lose, to be honest with you. I think Missouri cut it to 3 or 4 at one point, but throughout the whole game, it was like, I know we went up 14 at one point, and I thought we were going to blow them out when we went up 14. Then they cut it down to 6 or 8, and it stayed from like 7 to 11 points the whole second half. And we just never could pull away, never could bury them, and end up winning by 13. So if you watch the game, I'd love to hear your all's thoughts. Love interacting with you all during last night's game. Last night was probably one of the most dead the chat has been as far as during the game. I guess just because it was like our first weeknight SEC game, and it was Missouri. But the crowd seemed good. The crowd seemed like there was a good amount of people there. And I love to hear that on the TV. The Cats delivered. They took care of business. They covered at the last second. Trey Mitchell diving on the floor to get the ball off of a deflected pass and to save the cover. And then Missouri misses a wide open three that would have cut the final score down to 10. But the Cats cover as the spread, I think, closed at 11.5. So good teams win, great teams cover. Is that what they say? And here we go. We're going to find out a lot about the rest of the SEC tonight. There's some good games. Tennessee plays at Mississippi State. That's one of them. And, of course, the 1 and 2 teams in the nation lost last night, Purdue and Houston, both dropping games in conference on the road. So Kansas has a rough game at UCF tonight. They could possibly drop that. So if we take care of business on Saturday, you're looking at a team that could be ranked top 5, top 3 in the country. We'll see how it all pans out. It would not shock me if Tennessee drops the game to Mississippi State. I think it'll be close throughout. I think Tennessee might end up pulling it out, but I think that's going to be a close game down to the wire. Now, there's not really much to say about the Mizzou game. It really wasn't a entertaining barn burner of a game, but like I said, took care of business. Win by 13. I want to go ahead and get into the Texas A&M preview. Texas A&M comes in 9-6, 0-2 in conference. But I want to go ahead and start off by saying that I think the Cats are in a little bit of a unfair predicament as far as how this game is going to look on a resume. Because I think this is a lot tougher game than it looks like on paper, to be honest with you. Texas A&M just lost to Auburn on the road last night by 11. That game was a lot closer than 11 points. Auburn kind of pulled away at the very end. I watched most of it after our game went off, and Texas A&M is going to play the exact opposite of Missouri. Missouri couldn't guard anybody, didn't want to guard anybody, but could score it. I'm not saying Texas A&M can't score the ball, but they would rather play defense. They are going to try to lock us up. I don't think they want to get in a running battle with us. I think they're going to try to keep us in the half court and try to make us run fluid offense. And the good news is it seems like we're getting better at that. Would I rather run in transition? Absolutely. Because I think we are absolutely deadly in transition. Scores at all 5 spots. But that translates to the half-court offense somewhat too. It's just not as potent yet, not as efficient. Texas A&M, obviously, if you all follow college basketball at all, you know they are led by Wade Taylor, the 4th. He's a dang good scorer. He's a dang good basketball player. He's averaging 17.3 points a game. He was preseason SEC Player of the Year. I thought Auburn did a really good job, especially in the first half, of shutting him down. I think he went scoreless in the first half last night. I don't know how much he ended up with, maybe 10 to 12. But I would look at that Auburn tape and look and see what to do, because if you shut him down, that is a recipe for success against A&M. It's still going to be a tough game, but if you can kind of take his scoring out of it, I like our chances, to be honest with you. Let's see. Wade Taylor's their main guy. They have Henry Coleman III, big, strong, muscular, rebounds the ball very well. I watched him last night. I think Trey will match up solidly with him. We just don't need Trey to get in foul trouble. He's averaging 8.5 rebounds a game, so that's big. They are going to crash the glass, just like Florida did. At one point this year, Texas A&M was the number one rebounding team in the country. I don't think they still are, but they crashed the glass as a team. They're a tough, hard-nosed team that is going to try to lock you up, and the offense will come in their mind. So, in some respects, I like that for Kentucky, because I don't think anybody's going to be able to straight up lock us up. But if there is a team that can slow us down, I think Texas A&M is geared to do that. And then you go on the road in the SEC and you face a desperate Texas A&M team who comes in winless in the conference. They were preseason ranked number 15 in the country. They were actually ranked higher than us to begin the year. And had several losses. Lost to Florida Atlantic, lost to Virginia, lost to Memphis, lost to Houston, and then lost to LSU and Auburn. So maybe not as tough of a game as you thought it would be at the beginning of the year, but definitely not easy by any stretch. Got to come in focused. And Buzz Williams teams normally come in and try to punch you in the mouth, and I don't think that this one's going to be any different. I think the Cats are going to have to bring their A game. And like I said, I know you see 9-6 as a casual fan, or a fan that really hasn't watched much A&M basketball, and you think, this should be an easy win similar to what Missouri was. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think the Cats pull it out. But I think, and to be honest with you, if they do, I think it would be probably a more impressive win than at Florida. I think Texas A&M is slightly better than Florida. I get they have a worse record, but you look at who they've played and who they've beat, who they've lost to, and just players in general. I think Wade Taylor will be one of the best players on the floor, especially college basketball player on the floor on Saturday. And this is an important game for the Caps. If you start out 3-0 in SEC play, especially if Tennessee were to drop one tonight or Saturday, I think they have a pretty rough game on Saturday. I forget who they play, but I remember seeing that they play someone that they could possibly drop one to on Saturday. But basically saying if you start SEC play 3-0, that's huge. That's huge. They play at Georgia, which at Georgia they're 11-3, but they haven't really played anybody, so Tennessee will probably get that win too. But 3-0 starting SEC play would be a big deal, and especially 2 of the 3 coming on the road. So we'll see what happens. These Cats, they're not going to surprise me if they go in there and win. They're not going to surprise me if they go in there and handle their business and it's over early either, to be honest with you. But at the same time, it's not going to surprise me if we go in there and we're in a dogfight just like we were against Florida. A&M has the dudes to do it. And thing is, we do too. We've got dudes all over the place at all 5 positions at any time during the game. So, I don't know. Do we get to the 90-point mark against this A&M defense? That's the question. I don't know. I lean no, just because they love to muck the game up. They love to play. Nobody scored that much on them all year long, I don't think. Florida Atlantic's the only team to score over 90 on them. They scored 96. Other than that, nobody's come close. So we'll see. If we can put 90 up on that defense, you're like, oh my gosh. You really have high expectations for this team, I feel like. So we'll see. But I'll take the Cats by a score of 81-74. I like us by 7. I think it'll be tight the whole way. I think we pull away at the end with some free throws. And I think we'll kind of be on our heels. I think this team will face more adversity, just like we did against Florida. We came out on top of that game. And I until we lose, and we still haven't lost at full strength, still don't even have Adu Thiero back yet. Speaking of Adu, I will say I have no word on if he will be back for the A&M game, but if we could get him back, that would be huge. This is the type of game that we could really use him. It's going to be a very tough battle. He's a physical player, and we need all the bodies we can get. So that would be a big thing for him to come back this game. Seems like he's battling some soreness issues. I've heard it's in his back and legs. Hopefully we can get him back as soon as possible as we get into the meat of the SEC schedule. And since I picked the score, I've been you all got on to me, a couple of you, last week for not picking an MVP. I forgot. I was ready to get out of here and go to Nashville. But MVP, road environment, dude was a dog on Saturday. Dude was a dog last night. I'm taking DJ Wagner to have another big game against Texas A&M. So if he can continue to get to the rim at will and even knock down the three-pointer, this team becomes even harder to guard than we have been before. And, I've said this before this season, picking an MVP with this team is like a needle in a haystack because any game, any player can go off. Any player can drop 20, 30. It's a very balanced effort. So I just do that for fun. I'm not expecting to be right. My score predictions have been pretty dang close, though, all year long. So I like when I'm close to being right. And I like the Cats to come out. And hopefully we are celebrating a big win. If we do win on Saturday, I could see it being a post-game episode. I will keep you all posted on that. I feel like this is a pretty big game, and the Florida post-game episode went really well. So you all let me know what you think about that, and I think that's all I got. Continue to like, listen, share, review, and thank you all for running up the last couple episodes. It's been awesome to see this thing grow, literally starting because I love Kentucky basketball. I love breaking it down. I love basketball in general, but Kentucky basketball is on a whole nother level. So thank you all. It is very much appreciated by me. Continue to share it, get more people listening, and thank you all for all you do. And until next time, this has been JD's Wildcat World. See you all next week. Hopefully we are celebrating a big win against Texas A&M. And as always, go Cats.